So last week, I bought a $4 coffee, and then another one. And then I realized I'd spent $280 on coffee in the last 2 months, that's exactly the price of the nice headphones I told myself I couldn't afford. And here's the thing, every single one of those coffee purchases felt completely harmless. Like, what's $4, right? But someone else is getting systematically wealthy off that exact thought pattern. And today I'm gonna show you the actual math behind why your harmless small purchases might be the most expensive financial decision you're making. My name is Jace, and I spend way too much time thinking about why we're so spectacularly bad with money. If you're someone who makes decent income but somehow still feels broke at the end of the month, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, we've all heard the advice, skip the daily latte and you'll be a millionaire. And honestly, most of us roll our eyes at that because it sounds ridiculous. But here's what most people don't realize. The real cost isn't the $4. It's what psychologists call opportunity cost. And the numbers are actually insane. Let's do real math with real dollars. That $4 daily coffee is $1,460 per year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you invested that same $1,460 every year at a conservative 8% return, which is just below the stock market's historical average, in 30 years, you'd have $181,000. But wait, it gets worse. Most people aren't just buying coffee. Add in daily lunch out instead of meal prep. $12 a day equals $3,120 per year. Impulse Amazon purchases. Conservatively, $100 a month equals $1,200 per year. Subscription services you forgot about, $50 a month equals $600 per year. That's $6,380 per year on things that feel tiny. Over 30 years at 8% compound interest, that's $794,000, $750,000. That's not me being dramatic. That's literally just compound interest doing its thing. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Jace, but I need coffee to function. I can't just eat rice and beans for 30 years. And you're right, which is exactly why this is so insidious. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. Psychologists call this mental accounting. Basically, we categorize money differently based on how we get it and how we spend it. A $4 purchase doesn't feel like it belongs in the same category as your retirement fund. There's this fascinating study from MIT where they found that people spend up to 100% more when using credit cards versus cash, because the pain of payment is delayed. That $4 on your card doesn't trigger the same psychological loss as handing over $4 in physical bills. And here's the really wild part. Retailers know this. That's why everything is priced at $3.99 instead of $4. Research shows we process $3.99 as $3 and something rather than basically $4. Your brain literally rounds down automatically.
This is where it gets really interesting. Think about it. Starbucks' entire business model is built on the fact that you won't do the math. They're not selling you coffee, they're selling you convenience at a 400% markup, knowing you won't multiply $4 by 365 days. The real genius is they've made the transaction so small and so habitual that it bypasses your financial defenses completely. It's like a psychological stealth tax that you voluntarily pay every single day to multiple companies. According to a 2023 survey by Bankrate, 70% of Americans admit to making impulse purchases, with the average person spending $314 per month, almost $3,800 a year on things they didn't plan to buy. Here's what most people don't realize. That money doesn't disappear into thin air. It goes directly into someone else's investment portfolio. Think of it like this. Imagine someone came up to you and said, "Hey, give me $20 today, and in 30 years, I'll keep $800 of yours." You'd tell them to get lost, right? But that's literally what's happening every time you make these micro purchases instead of investing that money. You're just giving your future wealth to Starbucks, Amazon, and DoorDash. They take your $20, invest it in their business growth, and you get a temporary dopamine hit and an empty cup. Now, you might be thinking, But Jace, what's the point of making money if I can't enjoy my life? Should I just be miserable for 30 years? No, that's not what I'm saying. Here's the shift. It's not about deprivation, it's about intentionality. The problem isn't that you bought coffee. The problem is that you bought coffee without actually deciding to. You did it on autopilot. And autopilot spending is where wealth goes to die. So here's what you actually do. Step 1. Track every purchase under $20 for 1 week. Don't change your behavior, just track it. Most people are shocked by what they find. There are free apps like Mint or even just a notes app on your phone. Step 2. Calculate your invisible monthly spending. Add up all those small purchases and multiply by 12. Then use a compound interest calculator to see what that would be worth in 30 years. Let that number sit with you. Step 3. Implement the 48-hour rule for any non-essential purchase under $50. If you still want it in 48 hours, buy it. Research shows that 70% of impulse purchases don't pass this test. And step 4. Automate your investment. Set up an automatic transfer to an investment account for even half of what you're currently spending on micro purchases. Start with $50 a week if that's all you can do.
The key is making it automatic so it bypasses your psychology entirely. Step 5. Use the cost per use framework. Before buying anything, divide the cost by how many times you'll actually use it. That $100 item you'll use twice, that's $50 per use. Suddenly, not such a deal. Here's a quick story. I have a friend who is spending about $200 a month on DoorDash. He wasn't struggling financially, but he also wasn't building wealth. I showed him this same math. That $200 a month over 30 years is $304,000 at 8% returns. He didn't quit DoorDash completely, but he cut it down to twice a month for actual special occasions. That freed up $160 a month. 2 years later, his investment account has grown to almost $5,000, and that's just the beginning of the compound interest curve. More importantly, he told me he actually enjoys those 2 DoorDash orders per month way more now because they feel special instead of mindless. This is where it gets really interesting. He started viewing every purchase through this lens. Not, can I afford this, but is this worth more to me than what this money could become? Here's what most people don't realize. Wealth isn't actually built through massive wins. It's built through thousands of tiny decisions that either compound in your favor or against you. Every dollar you spend instead of invest is a dollar that could have multiplied 5x, 10x, even 20x over your lifetime. The companies selling you cheap convenience understand this math perfectly. The question is, do you? The hidden tax isn't coming from the government. It's the tax you pay every single day for financial unconsciousness. And the most successful retailers in the world have built trillion-dollar empires collecting it. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, track every purchase under $20. Just track it. Don't judge yourself, don't change anything yet, just become aware. I guarantee you'll be surprised. Then come back and let me know in the comments what you found. And look, if this perspective shift helped you see your spending differently, do me a favor and share this video with one person who needs to hear it. Because the more people who understand this psychology, the more people who stop voluntarily paying the invisible tax. I'm Jace, and I'll see you in the next one where we're breaking down why your salary might be keeping you poor even if it's 6 figures. That's gonna be a fun one. And then subscribe, reminder.